A local community service center has helped families and individuals in financial crisis meet their most basic needs, food, clothing, and shelter, since 1978. Recently, they have expanded their mission to create a financially stable community by teaching people how to manage their money wisely and by counseling them towards stability. Their story is coming up next on Polk Place. Welcome to Polk Place. I'm Tina Mann, your host, and joining me in the studio today is Nick Mathis, the Basic Needs Manager with the Mulberry Community Service Center, and Terrell Davis, the Executive Director. Welcome to the show today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, as a lifelong Mulberry resident, I'm appalled to know that I have not heard of you guys. So why don't you tell me a little bit about what the Mulberry Community Service Center does?
Well, we're a local, founded, kind of a community-based social services nonprofit. It was founded by back in 1978 by the Jacksons, Jim and Eleanor Jackson, and they were a local pastor team at that time. We've since gone on to be a United Way partner, and we're supported by local businesses as well as United Way and some other foundations within Polk County.
Well, we mentioned that you guys address basic needs. How do you guys go about doing that?
Well, really, we kind of see the center as two separate branches, okay? So we have the basic needs side of things and then the financial stability side. So basic needs is real simple. We offer a safety net for people. So if they come in and they're hungry, we try to give them food, free clothing. During different times of the year, we'll do different events. So we'll sign them up for backpacks, uniforms for school. We'll feed them at Christmas. And just things like that, just to try to meet those fundamental things that people might need. In addition, we'll pay a utility bill, a light bill, water bill, or rent, or something like that. The philosophy of it, if you will, is that as someone comes in for basic needs, we address that need and then try to kind of counsel them and move them into the direction of financial stability. Because in the end, we don't want to just give handouts, we want to give hand-ups. So we want them to kind of stabilize and be able to, at some point, not use our services, right? That's kind of the goal, so.
Right, but as we were discussing previously, you have to meet those basic needs before they can even start thinking about a larger.
Yeah, absolutely.
Larger
And we're able to do that through generosity of people. You know, we're very, very well supported in our own community. Even the post office, you know, the food drive that they do, we get the kind of revenue from that, the profit from that, which is great, and that canned goods. So we really, it's very much a community event. The community supports us as we try to support the community. So it's definitely one of those things that I always say that the community center is the best kept secret in Mulberry. That we're like this little white building off to the side, but the things that we offer can really impact a person's life and make it better.
I'm really excited you guys are on here so that we can bring some awareness to it, because it sounds like you guys really do well in that community. I know that there's a large population of people who are living in poverty in that direct area. So who all do you serve?
We serve the Mulberry 33860 zip code, Bradley, Pierce, Willow Oak, and the 33813 zip code of South Lakeland. Typically, that would be households of probably about 400 households per year. We do about 120, 130 meals or food boxes per year. We probably help with about 80 electric bills per year, maybe 50 light water bills, and maybe some other type of emergency type services in between.
Yeah, and that's for basic needs assistance. The financial stability, we kind of open up to anybody who wants to take part of it. And so for basic needs, we try to limit the service area so we can really feed into Mulberry and this surrounding area. But for financial stability program, it's pretty much wide stretching.
Right, and we'll talk a little bit more about that financial stability program and something you have coming up in a minute. But in the meantime, if somebody needs help in that area, I mean, how do they find out about you guys? Do you have social media?
Yeah, we have a website, so www.mulberrycsc.com. And you can also find us on Facebook, and they can reach out or they could email us, and all that contact information is there online. Our website, they can see what services we provide and the documentation that we will need in order to help them.
Okay, and On the converse side of that, if somebody's listening and they're like, well, I want to get involved, how can people get involved? What are your needs as far as volunteers or services or anything like that?
Well, absolutely. I mean, think about it. We are a small agency, just Nick and I, as far as personnel, and really we do what we do through the help of volunteers. We probably have more than 100, somewhere between 100 and 120 volunteer hours per month, and maybe 6 to 8 different volunteers that come through in the course of a month as well. But really, that's the heart of what we do, because physically, Nick and I couldn't do it all. I mean, we're assembling food boxes, we're distributing food boxes, we're organizing the clothing pantry, and then all the administration that comes with what we do. So really, if they want to volunteer, they can come down. We have an application. We're very helpful with a lot of the young kids have key club responsibilities or some type of community service responsibility with graduation. We have probably 5 to 10 kids that do that every year. We have some situations where maybe someone's having to do some community service for other reasons, legal reasons, whatever. We're open to that. We have some stimulations there, some limitations there, but we pretty well can support the community that way. Again, what we do, the volunteer piece, we have we have special events like Christmas and maybe Thanksgiving, our back to school bash coming up this summer. All those are opportunities for people to get involved and volunteer.
That sounds great. And do you have an age limit on your volunteers and how young they can be?
Well, we're fine accepting minors as long as they have the proper documentation. So as a guardian fills out an application and we'll keep it on file, then we're okay with that. So.
Good, because my daughter is she's starting middle school next year, and they're already requiring community service requirements.
Oh yeah,
so
we get a lot of students in there that need to do some work. We have a free clothes closet. People can come in every month and shop. Essentially, there's no profit. It's not a thrift store, so they just, as they need clothing, they can pick it up and take it. And the community has really caught on to that vision, if you will. So we get a lot of clothing donations.
That's awesome.
And so there's a lot of sorting and organizing and hanging that has to be done. And we're a pretty small facility. And we've got maybe 2 offices and a room, really. And so a lot of the clothes, without proper help, just it gets a little crazy back there sometimes. So
sounds like it.
Yeah.
Sounds like you guys do so much. And you work on meeting the basic needs, but then, as you said, you try to give them, a hand up, and you try to teach them, more life skills. And part of that, you're going to be having a workshop coming up on financial stability. Why don't you tell me a little bit about that?
Sure. We're a United Way partner, and United Way really today, they help in maybe 3 categories. One would be education, health, and then income, they call it. We're what we call an income partner. And what we do, we go out and we try to help our clients to educate them on the need of just really financial literacy. It could be savings, learning how to systematically save. It could be credit, looking at credit as an asset, because most of us don't have a lot of money to pay for cash for everything. And so we try to help them to build their credit, maintain their credit, and really, live a life where they can leverage credit as an asset. And lastly, we get into insurance also, because in many cases, we see families where there's a death in the family or there's a lack of insurance and a lot of the stress that's related to that. And it's simply because they didn't invest into a very simple, maybe term life or, policy, whatever's appropriate for them. So, so all about, and what we say is that these are kind of, sometimes with social services, people tend to look at some type of social, economic type of scale, as far as low income or whatever you want to call it. But these are practices and values that most middle-class Americans and wealthy people practice. And folks, most people that are wealthy, they've gotten good at practicing, these behaviors. And so we also have a component where we do something called money habitudes, where we look at how do we relate to money. Some people see money as a status. Sometimes it's a spontaneous type of freestyle type of person that just it's all about a good time, and they're being irresponsible. So we kind of help them to understand where they are, how they're relating to the money, and how they can make some changes to become more balanced and become more fiscal responsible. And of course, when that happens, mama's happy, daddy's happy, you got a happy marriage or happy situation with your family.
Better quality of life in general.
Yep.
And the financial side of things is so important, because a lot of these people get by for a long time, and then, as you said, they don't have proper insurance, and something happens and everything falls apart, and all of a sudden they don't have these financial skills to get them out of that hole, because they've never kind of been there. So they've kind of been skating through paycheck to paycheck, and then then they're financially devastated. So you guys are going to be holding a workshop to help teach people about this.
What we're able to do with United Way is that we can host these seminars or workshops, you want to call it, throughout the county, Polk County, Hardy County, and Highlands County. And we also do some evening type of formats where we do it. We host them in Mulberry at the Community Service Center. And we also have the flexibility that if a business, a nonprofit, a church, some type of agency would like for us to come out and host the seminar at their location, we'll be glad to do so and kind of partner with them as well. So really, we're about taking that message out there and really trying to help people, because at the end of the day, you know, we're all in this thing together, and money means something to our economy. You know, sometimes people will kind of downplay, well, I don't have to have money, I don't need to know all these things, but at the end of the day, we really have to be good at money, and unless you're just very wealthy and got a lot of money just to kind of spend, but most of us are working for a living, and we want to be good stewards with our money.
And there's some interesting benefits to the program outside of just the knowledge, because when people come in and we start talking about it, I kind of tell them, hey, this budgeting class, this Money Smart class is how we unlock the fullness of what we can do for you, because once you kind of graduate from that, it opens the door to everything else that we can offer, because we'll partner with people to get a credential. So if someone wanted to become a real estate agent, for example, we'll partner with them and help kind of shoulder that cost with them.
Oh, wow.
We'll also put some money towards, and Trell's probably better to talk about it, but we'll put money towards buying a first home, starting a business, and all of that. So there's a lot more that we can offer as an agency once they go through this first step, if you will, which is this budgeting class that we offer.
Yeah.
So.
And thank you, Nick, for reminding me, because what we do, we have what we call a Next Steps program, kind of appropriately, right? And at that point, if a person's gone through our program, they've completed the requirements of saving and all the requirements of the base program, now they could qualify for what we call a Next Steps grant. And the Next Steps grant is something that, it's a $2,000 matching grant. And what they're required to do, every $50 they save, United Way will save that in a kind of an escrow account on their behalf. And we give them 4 years to save up to $2,000. The neat thing about it is they can use those monies for a degree program. So for example, if they're pursuing some type of college degree, a startup business, or home ownership. So really there's 3 kind of components with that. Great kind of ways to jumpstart your savings in the direction of home ownership, education, or starting up a business.
Well, thank you guys so much for coming out today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Since 1978, the Mulberry Community Service Center has provided help for today and hope for tomorrow. Located at 301 Northeast 5th Street in Mulberry, they are open Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. You can help by donating your resources or time to sort food and clothing, stock shelves, or pack and distribute baskets. You can also be a money coach for families in their financial education program. They make every effort to provide sound financial literacy at no cost to their clients. After leaving their program, clients will be able to prepare a budget, read a credit report, identify ways to improve credit, have a better understanding of investment options and retirement plans, and identify the differences in life insurance products. Additionally, they may qualify for grants that assist in purchasing homes, starting a business, acquiring credentials, or completing a degree program. If you need help or would like to apply for their financial education program, you can give them a call at 863-425-1523 or look them up on the web at www.mulberrycsc.com.